Your phone lights up. It's not a spam call, it's someone you actually know. And yet, you freeze. You watch it ring. You consider answering. You rehearse what you'd say. And somehow, by the time you decide, it stops. You instantly feel relief, followed by guilt. So you text instead, "Hey, what's up?" If that sounds familiar, this isn't about rudeness, it's about psychology. People who avoid phone calls are often labeled as antisocial, lazy, or afraid of basic interaction. But that assumption misses something important. Avoiding calls isn't usually about disliking people, it's about managing unpredictability. For many, texting feels controlled, efficient, and safe. Phone calls feel intrusive and emotionally demanding. The difference isn't character, it's cognitive comfort, and understanding that shift changes how we see ourselves and others. At the core of phone call avoidance is uncertainty. Our brains are prediction machines. They constantly try to anticipate what will happen next to conserve energy and reduce stress. Texting allows for prediction. You can see the message, process it, edit your response, and reply when ready. A phone call removes that buffer. When your phone rings, you don't know how long the conversation will last, what topic will come up, or what emotional tone will be required. That unpredictability activates the brain's threat detection system, particularly the amygdala. Even if the threat is minor, your nervous system treats uncertainty as risk. There's also the issue of cognitive load. Real-time conversation demands immediate processing. You have to interpret tone, generate responses, regulate your own voice, and think ahead, all at once. For people who are introspective, anxious, highly conscientious, or simply mentally fatigued, that's a lot. Another factor is perceived loss of control. Texting allows autonomy over timing. Phone calls demand instant availability. Psychologically, humans resist sudden interruptions because they disrupt focus and agency. Studies on task switching show that unexpected interruptions increase stress hormones and reduce performance. A ringing phone is a direct interruption. Social evaluation anxiety can also play a role. Without visual cues, you rely entirely on vocal tone. Silence feels louder. Pauses feel awkward. Many people overestimate how negatively they're being judged in real-time conversations, which amplifies discomfort. Importantly, none of this means someone lacks social skills. In fact, many people who avoid calls communicate deeply and thoughtfully, just not spontaneously. Their preference reflects how their brain manages energy, uncertainty, and social demand. Research on communication preferences shows a generational and personality-based divide. Surveys consistently find that younger adults prefer asynchronous communication, texting or messaging, because it allows response flexibility and reduced pressure. In workplace studies, employees report higher stress levels from unexpected calls compared to scheduled ones. Neuroscience research on uncertainty shows that ambiguous social situations increase activity in brain regions associated with vigilance and threat monitoring. Even minor unpredictability can elevate cortisol levels. That doesn't mean a phone call is dangerous. It means your brain treats unknown outcomes cautiously. Behavioral economists have also shown that people prefer systems that allow control over timing. When individuals can choose when to engage, stress decreases and perceived competence increases. Texting fits this model. Phone calls override it. There's also evidence from social anxiety research. Many people report that spontaneous conversation triggers self-monitoring, hyper-awareness of tone, wording, and pauses. That internal scrutiny can make even simple calls feel draining. Interestingly, when calls are scheduled in advance, much of the anxiety drops. That suggests the discomfort isn't about connection itself. It's about unpredictability and immediacy. The same person who avoids random calls may thrive in a planned, intentional conversation. Picture this. You're finally focused. Maybe you're working, relaxing, or just enjoying silence. Then your phone rings unexpectedly. Your mind races. Is something wrong? How long will this take? What do they want? You feel your chest tighten, not in panic, but in resistance. Now imagine a text instead. You read it, You think, you respond when ready, you stay regulated. Or maybe you're the person who drafts text carefully, deleting and rewriting until the tone feels right. On a call, there's no draft button, no pause to recalibrate. It's not that you don't care. In fact, you might care too much about saying the right thing, about being present, about not sounding distracted. Avoiding calls can be less about distance and more about wanting to show up well. Some people gain energy from spontaneous interaction. They think out loud, process verbally, and enjoy unpredictability. For them, a ringing phone feels like connection. For others, communication is more reflective. They process internally before speaking. Society often rewards the first style, quick, responsive, always available. But both styles are valid cognitive patterns. One isn't more mature or social. They simply manage stimulation differently. If you avoid phone calls, it doesn't mean you're broken, rude, or incapable. It may mean your brain prefers preparation over improvisation. It may mean you value intentional conversation over reactive conversation. The goal isn't to eliminate discomfort entirely, it's to understand it. You can build tolerance for calls when necessary. You can schedule them. You can set boundaries. But you don't need to shame yourself for preferring a different communication rhythm. Self-awareness turns avoidance into choice, and choice is power.